Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, here to talk to you today a little bit about what's going on in and around the country, and with all of the crazy nonsense of burning dealerships and killing Teslas and killing anybody's brain cell that will listen to these people. It's been amazing at what's going on, but I wanted to talk to you a little today before we get into all of that natured stuff and decide whether or not we fully understand some of the things that are going on in and outside our government today. It's almost unbelievable here when you come to the realization that so much has been uncovered by DOGE up until recently, that it has been amazing at the amount of money and misspending of tax dollars and graft and literally theft of your Social Security money, your education money, and so on and so on. It's unbelievable to think that we have politicians that come into a seat in Congress or anywhere in the legislative branch with very little in the way of having a lot of money. And then with inside of just a simple year of service, they're building bank accounts that are far beyond that of normal men or women, that if you take a look at this and what's being uncovered now, let's just look at, let's just pick on AOC one more time. How in the world could she be worth $19 million? And how is it getting to her? And how is it being laundered past her? Because she certainly doesn't report that. And this is not just one person. This is on both sides of the aisle, and it's not a Democratic thing or a Republican thing. It's a politician thing that they go into office. This is why they don't want to leave. This is why you end up with a Bernie Sanders that is railing against DOGE right now, because he doesn't want you looking into where he may have garnered his 3 homes and great bank account from.
I helped form the Progressive Caucus. We had 5 people at that time. Now they got close to 100. So you got a whole lot of good people. Alexandria is extraordinary. I am so impressed by her work in Congress and she inspires young people all over the country.
Would you like to see her joining the Senate?
Right now, we have, as I said, just a whole lot of people in the Congress. Okay, Jonathan, thanks.
Wait, I got one more. This is important.
No, I asked you.
Okay.
You want to do nonsense, do nonsense.
No.
I don't want to talk about inside the Beltway stuff. I got 32,000 people.
I was just asking you about AOC because she was out there with you.
Fine, but I don't want to talk about this.
It's amazing that we can get a guy that goes out there and says, we got to look at everything that's going on because it's not good. Well, we're looking at them, and this is what's upsetting them. And this is what's upsetting the communist side of that particular party and that particular person, along with AOC and a couple of handfuls on both sides of the aisle that are getting rich on what? Where does this money come from? On a $170,000 a year salary, how do you amass $18 and $19 million inside of a few years? And why is it that we have now this great Justice Department that was just put in to take care of this, to look into this, and not a word is being said about any of these people that are enriching themselves as we go along in this new government that is supposed to clean house and find out where the graft and everything is going. And yet we have heard nothing about one arrest or one censure or anything to do with people that have been directly involved, and maybe not theft of money, but the reallocation of money from one approved program into something else that it disappears overseas somewhere for some nutcase program that's going on with frogs, mice, and whatever else you can have. And meantime, Bernie Sanders is telling you that, we got to get rid of this DOGE. Well, that's not going anywhere, but I don't see any benefit from continuing if we don't have anyone taken to task over the fact that they have been looked at and in some cases red-handedly have either misappropriated money or lost money or cannot account for money. And then we get started on the campaign contributions. This is what you'll hear from the likes of AOC. Well, that money came from campaign contributions and so on. So why should I have to account for that? I'll tell you why. Because many people have gone to jail and been brought up on charges for misappropriating campaign contributions that were supposed to go directly to a campaign, not for personal use, as some have been caught at, and some need to be caught at, because it's unbelievable anymore what we see happening, and no one out of the Justice Department is going to do anything more than has already been done, which is next to nothing when it comes to people. The odd congressman, like the guy that got caught with the gold bars and all of that nonsense from that he garnered from, I believe it was lobbyists that were feeding him the money. But why do we not have answers for this? Why do we not have answers for the attempted assassinations on Donald Trump? I think that we have a lot of cover-up is still continuing to take place in this swamp, and we're going to be distracted by mainstream media every day now with the fact that, the Tesla this and Tesla that, and they are inciting riots in some cases. And when you get AOC and Bernie Sanders on the campaign trail that they took off on their holiday week last week, which I find amazing that given the job that they have performed up till now, that they would even have the audacity to go ahead and say, we're off this week for spring break. Come on. Let's get down to tax here. We have a look-see into what went on at USAID. We have these morphodite judges that were political appointee judges with really no power to do anything to stop the executive branch of our government from moving forward what he had promised in his campaign to do for the American people. And then we have someone like Elon Musk that steps forward, not needing to be there at all, and does what he can do to help us out in getting our budget in some sort of cleanup mode so we can end up with a balanced budget sometime down the road. This is not going to happen overnight because it took many years for it to get this bad. And we had people running fast and loose in our legislative branch as well as the executive branch in causing the overspending. And we know that politicians like to do one thing and one thing only: spend your money and pocket what they can out of what falls off the contracts awarded by them to different organizations. It's almost criminal. In fact, it may be criminal. And why is our Justice Department not acting on this? They were fast enough to act on the fake dossier, and they were fast enough to act on the lawfare that took place against Donald Trump between his presidencies and so on. But no one wants to look into that. No one wants to be held accountable for that. And this is what Pam Bondi has been put in there to do. and as well as Tulsi Gabbard. And Pete Hegseth is doing a good job with the military and needs to finish his cleanup there. But we're looking to hear exactly what went where, who did it, and how will they be prosecuted for the misactions and misdeeds of money handling that was taxpayer money gone into the wind for no particular purpose. And now it's uncovered over the weekend that they're going to spend a couple of $100,000 on some kind of a award for Fauci. Well, look, come on. We know that this guy got a pardon because if we really look into what happened during COVID, which almost destroyed this country and half the world, that he was directly involved in every footstep leading to and the aftermath of COVID, the pandemic, or the plandemic, as it would be. So that taken into account, therein lies most of the weekend news was, get Elon Musk at all costs. The crazies are out in full bloom. No matter where you go, you look at bumper stickers and you look at the blue-haired people that are working at the everyday jobs that you may go into a place of business, and you have to look at that and you have to wonder, why is anyone acting the way they are? Well, they're being told to act this way. We spent a lot of time and a lot of education money, and this is another thing that we need to be very cognizant of, that the educational process was part of the dumbing down of society, and this is the first tick mark you get in the book of communism and how to transform a country from a democracy to communistic. And there it is. Dumb down your school systems, make people believe things that they are or that are not true, and make sure, didn't you see that? Because that's the way it should be. Well, it's not. And it's a failure. And every place that has embraced communism has been a failure. And look at it. Yes, the Chinese government is a communistic place, and Russia is a communistic place. But to each his own. But America was not founded on that principle and never will be going to that principle, no matter how hard the weak minds that have been weakly educated in this country think that they're going to transform it. They're going to make you believe that their way is the way. Come on, we're not buying into that anymore. We spent 4 years of that educational process of the movements that they put forward, and look what we got out of it. We have women sports where men are becoming women to compete there because they're too weak to compete in the men's sports, so they want to go over and take some poor woman's accolades away because they're bigger, faster, and stronger, and by the way, they can hurt the women along the way, which some people seem to like to do anymore. Well, my respect for women, it will always be the highest respect you can pay anyone, and I'm not buying into their trans crap anymore as far as getting into sports. If you want to be trans, that's your personal choice, but you cannot make an entire population believe that your way is the only way. You're a very small percentage, and the large percentage of the population voted in this last election and voted because they were promised things that are being taken care of right now by our president. However, the stumbling blocks that these weak-minded crazy individuals are putting in his way to thwart what his efforts are going to be found out and dealt with, hopefully, real soon. I believe that we have a great Justice Department now and a great FBI that can start looking into these things. But, where is Kash Patel? What is he doing? What are we going to see happen in the near future? Are they afraid that the Democratic side is going to just go to the press and eat them alive? Is that what it is? If it is, it's crazy, because mainstream media is a pitiful excuse for news networks any longer. And we know it now. And that's why these social channels, such as the one you're looking at right now, are so important for you to digest the information that you need to make correct decisions and not be told by the run-of-the-mill crazy Democrat how to think, how to vote, and how to educate your children. This is a sacred thing for you to deal with, and you alone should be dealing with it, not the government. The states should be responsible for their education, and the education should be chosen by you. If your school is not performing up to the standards it should be, then you need to find a private school and have the state help you with that transitional period and the tuition needed to make that happen. That brings us to Elizabeth Warren on education. If you saw that over the weekend, that was unbelievable. She is gone a little loony. We know that she has always been a little loony, but she's lost it now. Take a look here.
For every public school teacher, every public school librarian, every administrator, every school bus driver, everybody who helps educate our kids, you need to know this is the moment we got to stick together and we got to fight back. I don't care if you are a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, a liberal, a vegetarian. We need you in this fight.
I don't think so, darling.
This is the fight for an America where it's not just rich kids who get an education and have a chance to build something with their lives, but that every kid in America gets the best education they can.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
So they can build the best lives. But the only way that's going to happen is if we stay in this fight. It is a fight we can win.
Somebody had to go.
She is just incredibly annoying, is the best description I can come up with. And then to move on to annoying, we have Chuck Schumer made the weekend shows on, I guess, Meet the Press, and just was, I don't know what he is thinking or what possible help he can be to his party any longer. He's run roughshod on the Senate far too long, and has craziness is his sidekick. First of all, after 40-some years, you need to go home. The guy's got a bankroll that would choke a horse. Let go enjoy life. He's losing his mind, and it's obvious here if you want to take a look right here.
He cries on cue, he fakes the fight, then sells you out in broad daylight. A swamp rat wrapped in a Gucci fit. Welcome to Crying Chuck's greatest hit.
Well, old Crying Chuck has been having a hell of a time with his fellow Democrats this past week because of his wise decision to keep the government open. Funny, he's getting all this press right at the time of his new book launch, don't you think?
Things that make you say,
You got that right, Arsenio. Dipstick was on Meet the Press this morning, and he could barely talk. I mean, he couldn't even remember the...
He tell Donald Trump and takes action, and certainly we Democrats will.
What did he say?
and takes action, and certainly we Democrats will.
That's what I thought you said.
And the only way you stop being blown off the mountain is your internal gyroscope. My internal gyroscope said, with Musk and DOGE and Trump and this guy Vogt, VOGHT, I think is how you spell his name.
You really are stupid, aren't you?
I knew when I cast my vote against against the government shutdown, so that I believe that because the Republicans are already nervous.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
Their goal is to just eviscerate the federal government so they can give more tax cuts aimed at 5 audiences. Nice to have a Jewish president too.
You are disgusting.
He is past his sell-by date. He has lost his own party. He's lost his way. And why New Yorkers have voted for him time and time again is beyond my wildest imagination. But there he is, slumped over that podium, hollering everything is bad with Donald Trump and everything is going to be fine. They're going to take back everything and run us right back down the road of destruction that we've seen for the last 10 or 12 years, if you want to add some of the other administrations into that story. So we told you here last week that we were going to do a series of Today in Stupidity, and it gets plentiful right now when you start to look at the possibilities for ammunition for that particular stupidity series that we're putting on. But it's almost comical, except for it isn't funny what some of these people are out doing and saying about Elon Musk and about the great people that we have right now working in our government's cabinet and some in the Senate and some in the House to get things to happen as they should be happening, while no attention for years has been paid to the middle class people such as you and I that sit out here every day wondering where your tax dollars are going, why your tax dollars went where they did, and why are our offspring ending up with an education that is less than desirable when you look around the accomplishments of the educational processes in places even like Finland. They outnumber us because we're not teaching any longer. We have a bunch of professors in these colleges that are doing nothing but indoctrinating people for bad behavior, such as these things that are taking place on campuses now, and let alone to do it when we know full well it's against the law, and it should be against the law of that university that's taking a ton of your tax dollars. And another thing that we should talk about is, you're paying upwards of $30,000, $40,000 a semester to send a child to college and then have them indoctrinated in something that is useless to them, put out to, learn how to demonstrate for a foreign country on the campus of a university that's funded by you. And not to mention the fact that these people take in endowments and all kinds of money from the private sector. Why are we, as a government, replenishing their coffers when they are paying for bad behavior? And they're not educating, they're indoctrinating. So cut off that funding, that federal funding. Let them live on their endowments and so on. But anyway, for the final series or the opening series of Today in Stupidity. Take a look here.
They weaponize grievance, they other people, they talk down to people, past people, they humiliate people, they weaponize difficult issues. But the bottom line is we cannot continue to be on the defense reacting to this. We've got to go on the offense. You got to respect people you disagree with, and you can't just dismiss people. This
How
notion
do you fight
of,
it?
And well, this
I
notion
think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do that.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
I think I could kick most of their ass. I do that.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech.
But I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
That guy's really fat.
Yeah. And I'm a knucklehead at times.
With that said, it's Monday. We're looking forward to a week. The stock market was up today and doing pretty good as of this broadcast. I don't know if it'll stay there or move, but in light of that, I wish you all a very, very happy and profitable Monday afternoon. And we'll be back here to you tomorrow to give you more of an outlook on what took place today and what's upcoming in this next week. Every day is a surprise to wake up and see what Donald Trump has done today. Every day is a surprise to wake up and see what Elon Musk has uncovered. My heart goes out to him for the nonsense that he has to put up with while serving us, the people of the United States, by the way, free of charge. And all of the comments that people will tell you that he is in it to make money from the United States is craziness. And thank you once again, Elon Musk, for all you do and for retrieving those astronauts and bringing them back. And God bless you, and God bless America and Donald Trump. So with that, we're going to sign off for this Monday, and we'll be back to see you tomorrow, Tuesday. And stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report. God bless you all. Bye-bye now.